Bum, 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 bum. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1596, Christmas musical. So, first, before we find out what tonight's movie is going to be, how was last night's movie, The Holiday? I have to say, this movie so far, out of all of our Christmas movies that we have done for the last let's see, today's the 14th, so the last 13 days, because I didn't start till the 2nd, this is the one that's gotten the most comments on, not only comments but also private messages of people who love the movie The Holiday. And so I've been asking people, what's your favorite scene? And we've had the favorite scene from when Iris comes into Amanda's house for the first time and she's running around and face plants on the bed, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. There's another one of my favorite scenes is this movie is just so full of them. Somebody else said that when Amanda realizes that she it's weird, realizes that she's in love with Jude Law's character, whose name just totally escapes me right now. And she gets out of the car and just starts running down the country lane and just running. It seems like for miles. And she stops to take breath, to catch her breath a little bit before she carries on running and running and running and running. That's a really cool scene as well. Somebody else mentioned the boob graze. That's when they're in the sushi restaurant. One of my favorite scenes is Jack Black. Now, I have to admit this. Jack Black, I had not seen in any movies prior to my first seeing The Holiday. I absolutely loved his character in this. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was fantastic. And so I hadn't seen him in anything prior to The Holiday. In fact, I'm trying to think if I've seen him in anything since I've first seen The Holiday, which I don't know if I have or not. I have to go back and see what movies he's been in. But I loved his character in this movie. He was fantastic. But my favorite scene is when they're in the store going through the DVDs and everything else, and he's pulling the things off the shelf and singing the theme songs. And then he pulls off The Graduate with a picture of Dustin Hoffman on the cover and starts singing the Graduate theme song. And the camera turns around and there's Dustin Hoffman searching for DVDs in the video store. Great cameo portion. What else was there? Arthur. Oh my gosh, Arthur was such a sweetheart. This movie evokes so many different emotions because it shows two women who go through heartbreak for different reasons, and then how they overcome that, their heartbreaks and everything else. They find love again. Yes, it is a chick flick. And then you're bringing in children get brought into it. And there's just a whole bunch of different stuff going on in this movie. And Iris meets Arthur, who lives down the street and was like this big screenwriter in his heyday and everything else. And then they have this thing in honor of him. He's like, I don't want to go into a room and just like 9 people are in there. But when he walks into that room, you can tell he is totally overwhelmed. And I start crying whenever he walks into that room. And that's my bit where I need tissues, because just the fact that he realizes that he's not just a writer and it's not just 9 people. There's a whole bunch of people in that room. But just some of the challenges, there's all these little side stories with different characters and things, and some of the challenges that they have to overcome in order to move forward in their lives as well. So it's just a really cool movie, and I love having it on my Christmas list. And so to everybody who's sent me comments today and told me what their favorite scenes were, thank you very much. That was awesome. It's just such a great movie. So what are we watching tonight? Whew. I have to tell you. So tonight I'm watching a movie I have never seen before. Somebody actually posted the other day on Facebook that they were sitting down to watch that movie. And I'm like, I admitted I have never seen it before. And it happens to be a musical. It came out in 1954. But the song that the movie is named after was actually first sung in 1942 in the movie Holiday Inn with Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. So Gene Kelly first sung the song in 1942, and it's White Christmas. And sorry, not Gene Kelly, Bing Crosby. My apologies. Oh, jeepers. Oh, it was Bing Crosby. He was in the movie in 1942 in the movie Holiday Inn, which also starred Fred Astaire at the same time. And that was when he first introduced the song White Christmas. And then years later, in 1954, they released the movie White Christmas, which is, and the movie's named after the song. Like I said, I have not seen it before. The only song I know of that came from this is White Christmas. So I am looking forward to seeing this again. I don't know what the movie is about. Yes, I could look it up and have a look, but I'm not going to. I just want to be surprised. But I know Danny Kaye is in it. And any movie that I have seen with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye has been awesome. The two of them just seem to work so well together on screen. I can tell you that this was produced and distributed by Paramount Pictures, and the film is notable for being the first to be released in Vista Vision, which was a widescreen process. So it was the first time that had been done, and so I thought that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching this movie tonight. If you have seen this movie, what are your favorite songs in this movie? What are your favorite scenes? That's going to be the question that will go with the pictures when I post it on Facebook when we start watching the movie. But first we have to have dinner. We usually start watching movies sometime between 7:30 and 8:30. We try for 8 o'clock. I don't even know how long this movie is. I should have looked that up. But it is available on Netflix. That I did find. Because if I wanted to watch it on Prime, it was you had to pay for it to watch it on Prime. But then I found it was on Netflix. I was like, yes. So that was happy. But it came out in 1954, and I am really looking forward to seeing this. And I've added some new movies to my list that I found today when I was looking to see if White Christmas was available on Netflix. I found 4 more movies. So I still have one more. Actually, no, I still have one more. No, hang on. I've got 29 movies in total on my list, and that does not include the one that Legally Blonde, which I watch on my wedding anniversary, and Trading Places, which I watch on New Year's. So I think I now have everything covered, and I may have a movie left over. But that's okay, because usually on Christmas Day, if I'm by myself, then I do a Christmas movie marathon. I know I did that last year, and that was when I ended my Christmas movie fest, was on Christmas Day last year, and I think I watched 4 Christmas movies that day. I'm trying to remember. I'd have to go back through my notes and see. But yeah, so tonight I'm looking forward to seeing White Christmas for the very first time. I'm not sure how I have not seen White Christmas before now. I have no excuses. I have no reasoning. It's just never come up before. And I absolutely love and adore musicals. I've thought I'm going to do a musical month. I'm going to do a month of musicals. So I need at least 30 musicals. Might be 31, depending which one month I choose. But it will not be 29. Next year, we've got 29 days in February. But it'll either be 30 or 31 movies we're going to watch in 1 month that are going to be musicals every night. And in there, I can tell you right now, is going to be Hello, Dolly, Sound of Music, that's whirring around in my head right now, State Fair, Oklahoma. What are the other ones on the list? Those 4 are definitely on the list. What other ones do I have on my list? Where did I have my musical list somewhere, but not close by. I had a notebook that I was writing different themes of movies in there. And I came up with the idea of doing a Western theme 1 month as well. I love Westerns. I like my Western movies. How did that one come up? Oh, who was I talking to the other day about Westerns? And they were telling me that The Magnificent Seven was based off I think they said it was based off a German movie. And I said, is that the one with Lee Marvin and Charles Bronson and all those other guys? And they're like, yeah. And I said, yeah, I've seen that one. That's a good movie. And then they mentioned another movie, which was also a Western movie. I said, I need to do a Western theme month. So you're going to do some Western movies in there, so we're going to do a Western movie month, a musical month. What was the other one we're going to do? Oh, King and I will also be another one that'll be in the musicals as well. They just pop into my head. I really should write them down, shouldn't I? So yeah, so if you know of any really good musicals, and who knows, there might be a Christmas one that slips in there as well. I don't know. I haven't made up the list yet, and I don't even know what month I'm going to have it. But this is all part of. People go, why are you reviewing movies? Because this happens to be the time of the year where I watch a lot of movies. Yes, it's my busiest time of the year, but to unplug and relax in the evening, this is how I do it. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go till my workday ends at 5 o'clock. So I'm going for 12 hours. Then I have a 2-hour break before I have to get on here to do this. And then after this, it is complete break. So sometimes during that 2 hours, I'll take Zephy for a walk and come back and work for another hour and a half, depending on how long we walk for. Yes, I mentioned you. You letting me know you were there and you heard? Okay. And then after the podcast, the time is my own. I purposely do it that way. I know that there's sort of like, I've got to do, and I make up and I start writing down things that I need to do. And I'm sort of like looking at it and go, yes, I could be sitting there doing it, but I need that mental break from the computer. I need that mental break from business. If an idea comes up, pick up pen and paper, write it down, and I'll deal with it tomorrow. It's as simple as that. If it's an urgent thing, like a client calls me with an urgent request, then I will get up and go do some work. But apart from that, it is tools down after the podcast. We're off the computer for the evening. It actually gets shut down. So to get back, but I do have the laptop available if I have to get online urgently for a client. But basically this area gets all shut down, lights get turned off and everything else, and we are done for the day. Not allowed back in here till tomorrow morning, till the next morning. But, that's part of living your best life now, is the fact that I have the flexibility to do that with my days. And that's how I structure my days, because I want to make sure that I am taking care of me. And that time in the evening when I'm sitting down to watch a movie, that is me taking care of me. That is just me relaxing and unwinding from the day in order to get ready for bed. Because there has been a couple of times where I have worked through the evening up until, and got so wrapped up in what I was doing. This happens in genealogy a lot. If I start researching genealogy and I forgot to put the timer on, I would just keep going. And there's been times I've looked up and it's like midnight or after midnight. I'm like, oh damn, I wanted to relax. And there's no relaxing at that point. It's just taking myself straight off to bed. So and then it takes a little bit for me to settle, because I haven't had that downtime before going to bed. So this is all part. So the evenings when I watch movies is all part of me taking care of me. It's my self-care time. It's the time when I sit there and, I'll be watching a movie, I'll be crocheting or knitting, or in this case, trying to figure out why my hands are so dry. And like I'm putting on lots of lotion, which I'm going to do right now, because one hand feels like sandpaper. I don't know. It's just this cold weather right now. It was 3 degrees centigrade when I went outside this morning for a walk, which is about 37 degrees Fahrenheit. And I know some of you are going to turn around, well, we were 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I get it based on where you are. I'm in Arizona. But yeah, it's the coldest morning we've had so far. This winter. So, but yeah, it's just been, so this is why I watch movies in the evening. It's my way to kick back and relax. And sometimes I don't feel like watching a movie, and that's fine. I'll sit and read a book. Or I will put some TV series on in the background as noise and sit there with the iPad and play word games and stuff like that as well. But usually I don't do that. Usually just watch something that's on. But I will tell you, I discovered that because I have T-Mobile, I get free Apple TV. So I discovered that the other day. And there was a book that I read with our mystery book club. It was called The Last Thing He Said. And the book it was okay, but I wouldn't have called it a mystery as such. It was more of a kind of a thriller. And I wasn't the writing was okay, but it wasn't one of those, oh, this is a really good book type of books. But the TV series they made out of it, they just did the one season with like 8 episodes, I think it was. And it's on Apple TV. It was excellent. Jennifer Garner was playing the wife in the story. And Aisha, can't think of her last name. She plays Mother Nature in Santa Claus 2, and she is also the host on Whose Line Is It Anyway? So she played the best Jennifer Garner's character's best friend, and they were basically on the run. And it was actually I because I had already read the book, I knew the storyline, and I watched this and I thought, let me try it and see, because sometimes when they convert it to screen, it comes out a little better, and sometimes it doesn't. But I'd read the book and it was okay. Some people really liked it. I was not that impressed. But when I got to watch when I watched the 8 episodes, 8 episodes are about 45 minutes along each one. It was actually really good. Seeing it played out made it even better. And in this one, yeah, it was just so well done. I really enjoyed the TV series more than I did the book on that one. But it's called The Last Thing He Told Me. And basically, the company her husband is working for gets raided by the FBI for fraud, I think it is. It's where they turn around and say they've got all of these they basically had on the books all these orders that have been placed for the software they were working on, and the software doesn't even work. And they had issued their IPOs and all of that sort of stuff. And so her husband was like the programmer for the thing. And he suddenly just disappears one day. And so then it starts trying to figure out where he's gone, where is he? She starts looking for him. She's stuck with her stepdaughter, which is her husband's teenage daughter. And the teenage daughter can't stand her stepmother, even though her stepmother is really nice. And always, but it's just typical teenage attitudes, where they have that little rebellious part, and this is part of that rebellious part. So it's them growing their relationship together, and learning to trust each other, and then uncovering some things they didn't think. And the world gets turned upside down a little bit. It does. It gets turned upside down a little bit as they dig deeper and trying to find her husband, her stepdaughter's father. And so trying to find this guy, Owen. They're trying to find Owen. That was his name, Owen. So they're trying to find Owen, and there's some interesting curveballs that get thrown in there. Let's just say that. So he wasn't there when the CEO of the company was arrested. But then he became a person of interest for the FBI. So you got the FBI looking for him. U.S. Marshals get involved. There's the mob involved. Lots of different people looking for her, and that sort of, and start looking for her and her stepdaughter, because they believe that they know that these two people know where Owen is, and so they're out there looking for Owen. And yeah, there's a lot of different curveballs that get thrown into this thing, and the TV series is so much better than the book. So much better. So that book is called The Last Thing He Said, and it is available on Apple TV as I'm pretty sure it was 8 episodes. Might have been a few more. But it's a one season TV show, just to cover the whole book. But it was really good I loved it on the screen. Yeah, loved it on the screen. So, there's sometimes that I will, and when the movie finishes, depending on the time of day, I would go and watch an episode or two of this TV series, because I have the time that I'm going to go to bed, and if the movie finishes and I've got time to put an episode in there, I'll do that. That's how I operate. So anyway, that's it. We're out of here. We're going to go watch White Christmas, which I have never seen before. If you have seen it, what is your favorite song in the musical? And because it is a musical, and what is your favorite scene? So that would be the questions we'll be putting underneath the photographs on Facebook once we start the movie. So we're going to go have dinner first, and then it will be sitting down to watch White Christmas. I don't even know how long this one is. It could be a couple of hours, 120 minutes. Okay. It's nice when Netflix provides you with that information. So it's exactly 2 hours. I said 120 minutes. So we're going to go sit and watch that. And actually, if I can get it started earlier, maybe I'll eat dinner in front of TV tonight. But actually, that's what we'll do. We'll have dinner in the family room tonight instead of at the table. Yeah. She'll come and sit next to me on the couch. Like, she will sit here and look at she won't whine. If I'm sitting at the table, she'll sit there and whine. I look at her and go, we don't beg, go lay down. And so she's now learned that we don't make any noise when we're sitting next to the table waiting for tidbits. that may or may not come, we have to go over here into the family room, but we watch. And there'll be times I'll put a little bit of tidbit on the edge of the plate, waiting for her, giving her a few minutes to chillax. And then I call her over and give her the little tidbit, if there is any tidbits to be had, depending on what I'm eating. If it's chocolate, she don't get none of that. But she will still, if I'm sitting on the couch, she will sit here next to me. And there's times that she's put her head over to sniff the edge of the plate, and I put my hand down between her and the plate and go, no, we do not do that. And then she's just sat there very quietly and waited and not made a sound. So it's easier to teach her when she's sitting next to me on the couch not to make any noises. But if I'm sitting at the table, she tends, and I look at her and go, are we begging? And she'll just like look away like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'll go lay down. Because we don't beg. So she goes lay down. Or other times she'll just sit there very quiet. She'll just walk up very quietly and just sit there. And just wait. She can be very patient when she wants to be. But anyway, we're out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.